Today, we're going to explore one of the most complex and soul-piercing metal compositions ever written, Deliverance by Opeth. But before we begin, there's one important thing you need to know. On this channel, we don't use music theory. Here, emotions do the talking. At the very beginning of the song, we encounter a chord built from these notes. A sharp E, a sharp E. When we focus on the feeling between two notes, we realize that this chord is made of three tense and uncomfortable emotions, instantly pulling the listener into a hellish atmosphere. Starting with a sharp and E, the tension is introduced. Repeating a sharp intensifies that tension, and returning to E locks the listener inside this unstable space. If you've made it this far, I strongly recommend watching the videos on this channel in order, so you can fully understand the emotional strategy behind this content. Once again, I want to be very clear. On this channel, I teach you how to write music without theory. And if this approach resonates with you, please support the channel by liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing. Your support truly helps this channel grow. Now, let's continue with the riff. Here, we face a chord made of E, B, E. Analyzing the feeling between these notes reveals two strong, calm, and stable emotions, which temporarily soften the brutal and hellish atmosphere created before. Now we arrive at the main riff. Did you notice how, when this chord appears right after the intro, it suddenly creates an unsettling, infernal feeling? The last note of the previous chord was E, but the main riff starts on F sharp. This shift alone pushes the listener into discomfort, and that is exactly what Opeth intended. With the notes C, F sharp, C, this discomfort transforms into a fully hellish and tension-driven space. Now we reach one of the most mysterious and controversial notes of this riff. E. Why would Opeth choose this note? Normally, playing C and E together creates a bright and happy emotion, but because the atmosphere has already been pushed into darkness, this brightness turns into a twisted demonic joy. The riff continues like this. Until we reach the chord E, a sharp, which slides into BB. At this moment, the twisted joy becomes even darker, heavier, and more hellish. After that, the atmosphere collapses into deep darkness with B. Then tension is reintroduced using the chord E, a sharp. The previous ending note was B, and when we suddenly move to E, a deep sense of calm appears, but a calm buried inside darkness. Adding a sharp makes this calm uncomfortable again. Then F sharp leads us into A, gentle melancholic emotion. Using E, this emotion becomes foggy. Then enter this note sequence: E, E, G sharp, E, G, G sharp, B, a sharp. Inside this fog, Opeth introduces G sharp, a bright and happy note, but immediately pulls it down with E, making it sad. Why? Because the goal is to weaken the light. With G, the sadness intensifies. With B, it becomes darker and more melancholic. Finally, a sharp pushes it into a cold, pale brightness. In the final sequence, F, G, F sharp, C, F, E. F makes the cold space heavier. G unsettles it. F sharp turns it cold and bright. C introduces pure tension. F briefly calms it. And finally, E leaves the listener, suspended in a cold, distant light.